podcast. I'm Aries.
And I am Kim.
Alrighty.
Here we are, week 2.
Yes, we are.
Week 2.
2020, the
episode
decade.
2.
Yes.
We're in alignment.
We are.
Right?
Everybody, have you heard all the what are like the cliches for the year? Focus and vision, 2020. Clarity, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I do think there's something to that. I don't think we should take that lightly. Because I think that too. Because like for me, I'm like, focus is very important right now.
Oh gosh. I think it's always going to be hard for me. Focus. Just my personality. So.
You got ADD?
A slight. Adult version. Slight.
I know I do.
So, and we'll get into that. But typically I try and focus on 3 things for the day. 3 to 5 things.
She always got like these lists. I'm like, see, I'm not focused enough to even have that.
What? Yeah, I have a list. I have a list at work, and then I try to have a list for the week. And we have, she said I need a grocery list.
We have a guest in the studio today. So Kim is going to have to try to keep her eyes here and not at her baby girl who's back there learning. She's going to be our producer soon.
Producer.
So,
she's gaining LinkedIn skills.
Yes,
it's like
exactly.
I like to call them.
She's in college for business administration.
No,
computer science.
No,
computer information systems.
Combine the two.
Yes, I got it right.
Yes.
He said, "What's she doing?" I don't know. She doing something. I'm just
Something
glad
with
she going to school. She is in school. All right. She is.
She
flourishing.
in college. She know everything.
She is flourishing, and her edges are coming through.
Exactly. Drinking her water.
Drinking her water. She is hydrated. Minding her own state business.
Exactly.
All right. So since we're here on second week, we wanted to talk about, or as I like to say, I like to have a theme, which kind of goes along with lists.
Yes.
So Aries and I, we've done a little planning. We haven't done much because just life. And Aries will be updating us on some of her recent updates this first full week. So the theme of January is development. So personal, professional, self. This is the time I think, and you don't have to wait to the beginning of the year because some people also use their birthday as a new year for them. Right? And I think that's a good, for me, my birthday's in June, so that's like a 6-month check-in.
Yeah.
So good. I use it as a 6-month check-in. What do I need to do for the remaining 6 months?
Yeah. Last year I started doing quarters.
Quarters
like
are
I put
easy.
it in my phone and I'll be like, first quarter, in the first quarter, check up. You know, like where am I?
Right.
Where I'm at right now with my goals and stuff like that. So.
And actually, when I write out my goals, I try to do them by quarters now, because you think about it, quarters are what, 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a lot done. You can accomplish something in 90 days.
Exactly.
And sometimes you can overwhelm yourself with, okay, well, here are my goals for the year. Well, when do you want to accomplish it? What quarter? Or, hey, I want to go on vacation first quarter. Well, where do you want to go?
I like how Pastor? I think it was Pastor and TD Jakes was saying the same thing about when you're looking at like the decade, right? It actually will help you break down if you're accomplishing whatever goals, because that's a 10-year span, right? So let's say this year feels like it wasn't, you didn't accomplish a whole bunch of stuff, but you were preparing and like knowing that, okay, this by the end of this year, I will have set the foundation for what I need for next year to be this way, for the following year to be that way, and you are seeing the trajectory that you're going on and not feeling like, oh, this year was a failure, start over again next year. No, it might have not produced a lot of money or whatever it is, but it was setting you up for the next year.
Preparing you.
Exactly.
Yep. So. And for me, with that, and this was one of our call to actions. We actually had 2, and we're going to highlight a few of them. One of the call to actions was to document your accomplishments for the past decade. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's going to take time. So I started thinking about it because I'm thinking, okay, 10 years, she was 8. I was just here. When you reflect back on what you have accomplished, it helps you to plan what you want for the next decade.
Yes.
So that has been very helpful for me as reflection and introspection. And so we'll just get straight into it. So first things first, this was the first full week of the month of the year. You had a pretty eventful week.
You hear my voice. It's not that I know people who listen like, your voice always like that. when I'm talking to my friends, I'm like, it's always
Yep.
the same.
I'm like, hang up, just text.
Right. But this week was my first week at my new job. So I'm excited about that. It was actually probably one of the best first days, first weeks of a job that I've ever had.
Well, you do have some listeners who would like to know what that is. Now, you don't have to go into detail at a high level. Just maybe share what.
So the role is software portfolio advisor. So
and y'all, she got her business cards. Okay?
I just got some business cards.
Literally,
they just came.
Literally,
Kim was about to. You know how she is. We saw somebody run past the window. She like, who's that?
Who was that?
Who was that? So they had dropped off the cards. So yeah, I'm working with this company, and it's in sales, which is an area that I've been wanting to get in for a while, but I was afraid of, like, to really have a hardcore sales role. So in technology, that means a whole lot, but I've been encouraged, like, over the years, like, you need to be in sales. You need to be in sales because of personality and stuff like that. I was just afraid, like, wait, what? Quotas?
So now you let them use you.
And now that, heck, I went a whole year without a job. Like, you wasn't scared of that. So
that's some perspective,
right? You know, so I'm like, well, now go for it. Like, let's see, you know, how it goes. And the company has been, like, amazing. They are.
Yeah, you were texting me all these highlights. I was like, seemed like it was very energetic.
Yeah, so it just so happened to be the first day of the national sales kickoff. So it was a lot of long days, workshops all day, and then dinners and events and vendor fairs and all that stuff every night, award ceremonies and all that. And it was really inspiring because I'm watching, like, the top producers get awards, you know, for the year. And I was like, I want to be up there.
And that was helping you set a goal. That was
exactly.
You set a goal.
So I'm like, how do I get on that stage? And so people who I probably met half of the people at the conference, and it was like 200 and something people. Like, wow. I was, like, really trying to connect. That's why my voice going. Like, I'm trying to meet people. Like, everybody I made eye contact with that I didn't know. I met the CEO. I met the the chief HR manager, the COO, like, all the senior leaders,
C-level.
our president, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to maybe be intentional because it is a company that is not, you know, they're not located in the U.S. So I'm like, when am I going to see him again? Like, our CEO lives in Singapore. So, I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to see him. So let me get 5 minutes, you know. So I got a chance to kind of steal some time while we were getting snacks. And I'm like, hi, I'm Aries. Today is my first day, you know. So he was, like, interested in that because they're like, dang, you starting here with all of this? Yes. Like, it could be overwhelming. But because I network a lot and I'm used to being at conferences and doing this stuff, it wasn't overwhelming for me. I was just, like, practicing memorizing people's names and writing it down and connecting with them on LinkedIn and stuff. So it was really fun. Like, they took us to Cowboy Stadium was that the second day?
I think it was. It was your second, yeah.
It was like first or second. No, it was first day. First day. That was a Monday. Like, as a surprise, and rented, you know, not rented out, but, like, had all open bar. They were out there doing punt kick pass, you know, stuff. It was fun. So I was like, dang, that's not a bad, you know, first day.
That's a great way to start.
And everybody was so nice, like, everybody. So I'm like, this really says a lot about the culture.
Yeah. Because
they're from all over the U.S., Canada, you know, and obviously y'all didn't have a meeting before I got here to be nice. Like, y'all, this is
who you are.
How they are.
Yeah.
So I really love that. So
that is awesome.
Yeah, I was so ready to sleep when I got back. I was like,
I was scared to text her because although we network a lot, we love our downtime.
Yes.
And you left on Sunday.
Sunday night, we had a team dinner. Monday, all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday, and then check out. So we stayed in a hotel. But I was like, ooh, hurry up and get to my bed.
And then you went to another networking event on Thursday.
And then Thursday was ATW, and yeah, so
that was too much for that. My soul is not rested for you.
And that was 115 people we had. Wow. It sold out. So a whole nother thing where you gotta kind of talk. I was like, Lord, I'm gonna have to talk to people at this other event. So I was I dipped out as soon as we were done. I was the first one on the elevator.
And that's nice.
I was getting out of it because my kids were at home. I'm like, I want to see my kids before they go to bed, you know. So that was my eventful beginning to the year. I'm glad about it. I mean, although it was tiring, it was exciting. It was something new.
It was something different.
Yeah.
New. Well, my week wasn't that as eventful from a professional perspective. So our organization is going through some shifts and changes. So we're like in a wait and see hold pattern. So work hasn't been as busy. And then I was dealing with some homeowner issues that I ended the school year. I said school year, the end of the year with, and it came into the new year. But I have been restored.
Girl.
So you don't realize how much you miss something until you don't have it. And
like heat
yeah,
and hot water.
hot water. So, I have a different view and perspective on water, hot water.
Exactly.
And actually, it got me to thinking, like, what about people who can't take a hot bath?
For real.
So now I'm like, okay.
Grateful.
Been in a constant praise and worship
Right.
ever since that.
And that's what I was trying to encourage you about, like, because I'm like, I know how that goes. I had my AC go out one time and my water heater in the same year. Like, so I was sweating up in here. It was during, like,
Right.
the season where you need your AC. And that hot water is
And
valuable.
and the thing about it is, too, like, I have such a great village. I know, like, people are like, you can come over. But it was just like, no.
You want your stuff?
I want my stuff. So I made adjustments. I had to go to the gym and shower. It forced me to go to the gym. Because in that time, when you are feeling down, you don't want to do anything.
Right.
But going to the gym, it actually helped.
Mm-hmm.
And then it made my daughter a little bit more grateful, too. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, and then you have a greater appreciation for, because I think sometimes we hide things from our children.
Yes.
We are not forthcoming, like, look, this is going to be this much.
Yeah.
And it's not for you to worry, it's just so that you are aware of what's going on.
So that you're aware, and it will reduce the selfishness.
The selfishness.
Because sometimes you're like, I don't want to ask. That's how I started. My first job was because I knew my parents couldn't afford, like, I'm thinking about school clothes. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, they just got through helping my, sister with her rent or this, that, and I'm like, I know they don't have, I don't know what they have, but I know it's not a whole lot. And I didn't want to burden them. So I was like, let me find some other ways to bring some income in. And it worked out. So sometimes you do got to share that stuff with your kids so that they can, that might be a part of her journey of, awareness and stuff like that. So.
I think so. And it helped, too. I was forced reflection.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're like, okay, well, if I can't take a bath or I'm not warm, I don't want to go anywhere.
Exactly.
So there were invites I turned down. No, I don't want to go. I can't even get in the tub.
Right. Let me read this book.
Yes. Let me just read this Bible plan.
Mm-hmm.
How did my year go? What do I want? Something different. So that was my weekend. I did not make ATW because I forgot all about registering because of that.
Exactly.
And that makes you realize, okay, it was like I didn't have a fear of missing out.
Yeah.
It was just, okay, well, I didn't make it this one, but guess what? I can make it to the next one.
Exactly.
So, I think that was it. No networking. I came straight home every day outside of going to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. Oh, and I did work on my resume.
See? Come on. You got some things accomplished.
I did do some things. Yep, I worked
So that's
on my
good.
resume.
You went to the gym. You got your resume stuff, working on that. That's good. That's a good start. I didn't go to the gym yet.
Yeah, well, you were busy.
I will eventually.
But they had a hotel gym, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I ain't had no energy.
You didn't have time for it.
The nights were so late.
Yeah. So. Conferences are always hard.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that in our next episode. All right. So with that, I'd like to go into our personal reflections and accomplishments. So again, I told you I had the time. Right?
Right. She'd be like, I'm like, dang, you making me look bad. You got all this
I made
stuff.
a list. Another list. Kim, keep a list.
I'm going to write Kim's list.
So do you want to share yours or do you want me to share mine first?
This is a personal reflection.
This is personal reflection.
Well, for me, obviously, last year was just an interesting year altogether, personally. Yeah. But one of the highlights I would point out, it's so weird because I'm like, it really didn't have anything. It did have something to do with me, but not directly. Like, my dad's oldest brother passed away like at the end of May, right after Memorial. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the reflection is really on like family and being there for someone. I wanted to take my boys on a trip, this summer, but I'm like, we're going to California to help Papa with this because he was dealing with that way. You know, that's his closest sibling.
Right.
So it was like being there for family and like putting your stuff to the side and
sacrificing.
Yeah, like for me it was really big. And for my boys, they got to. I'm having those conversations with them, and they were able to like see some different things. You know, be around family for a long time.
And experience California for an extended amount of time.
Yeah, and be in the hood and go turn cans in, and I was like, we got $60. You know, like they were
turning cans in.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we saw this lady, she had her butt out. And like I'm like, yeah, you need to see what's going on here. In the real world.
In Mayberry land.
Yeah, we up in here. You just thinking, la la la. We can just no. So it was this big, and I know when we got back, my dad was like, you don't know how much it meant, like, because I went there, we cleaned the house up for him, like everything, like just make his life easy. Yeah, it was not. No. But sometimes you gotta think about putting other people before yourself. And even when I'm going through my stuff, you know, it's like when you help someone else, it helps you get over your stuff so much quicker. Like people who were laid off last year, I was able to encourage them, you know, personally on mindsets and, you know, how to be positive during a time that's hard for a lot of people who go through depression and stuff.
Yeah, because a lot of people have already approached me like, oh my gosh, I never knew that Aries was out of work. I said, you wouldn't have been able to tell.
And that's just from other, you know, every time you go through something, I feel like it's preparing you for the next thing. So I've had those times where I was, you know, I got laid off once, and I was just like, if I don't get this job, I'm going to just die. I'm going to just die. Every interview, you're like, I better get this. And then those emails that come in where you get rejected, like, thank you for applying, but we're going, you be like, it's just like attacking your person. And this time, I was just deleting them before I didn't even read them. I was like,
next.
I'm like, anyways, we moved that. We're deleting that. So just paying attention to all those lessons and seeing it, act itself out like throughout the year. I was really proud of myself. I feel like it's hard for people to like give themselves credit for things, but I'm like, God has really grew my faith this year, and I really was trying to listen for him. You're like, what are you saying? Like, how should I be doing this? Like, what would Jesus do? You know, in these moments, like so many moments came where I could have just been like, go back to my natural way of like dealing with things, and I took it as a personal challenge to be like, no, you are in control. Like, you don't have to be thinking like this. You can control your mindset, get around positive people, stuff like that. So for me, that was like the biggest, I would say, reflections that I had. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll jump in before you go to your next one.
No, that's it.
That's
it.
You
go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well,
I mean, that's a big one for me.
It
was a lot
that
in
was.
there.
No, I thought you were going to, I thought we talked about
like
3.
Going I know, but I'm not as organized as you. So. I'll let you do.
So my biggest probably was I read the Bible more this year. So it allowed me to reflect, and my theme for the year was extend more grace. And so that meant, and I'll say at the beginning of the year, I got a review that I didn't think reflected what my work was for, right? And so because of that, yeah, I was very upset, and that showed in my attitude. And not just directly to my boss, but to others as well. I would get IMs like, are you okay? And I'm like, is that what I want people to, you know, reach out and say, what's wrong with her? Why is she acting like that? I had to extend more grace and look within and say, okay, what do I need to change? Do I need to change jobs? What do I need to do with that reflection? And put myself in that person's shoes? Because if I was that person having to give a review to someone and they didn't like it, would I want them treating me like that? So grace was my biggest thing this year. And so
that's what you kept saying. I'm in a season of grace.
I was. Now, I don't know if it's expired because we're in a new year. I'm going to try and take it over to 2020. But it was just like, that was something that I had never really thought about, is extending people grace. And giving people the benefit of the doubt. You know?
And I feel like that rubbed off on me from you. Aww. It did, because I was just like, we were reading the Bible together a lot, you know, this year too. And I think the more that's really what I think the Bible is for. It's not like a book of rules. It's really saying, if you want to look as close to God as possible, these are the things that, this is how he looks. This is his character. Learn about, here are the promises that he's made. And it helps you get out of depression.
Yes.
Because you'll be like, wait, God said I'm this. I'm not that. That's a lie. That's the devil, trying to make me feel bad about myself. And I need to start knowing what he said about me.
Right.
And then that grace piece, when you're trying to look like as close to him as you can, because we fall down, but we get up. You're like, just the way you think about things is going to be a little bit, different. So,
and not just you, because I challenged all my close friends. Like, they'll call, so and so did this. I said, well, did you extend them grace? That was like my mantra. It's like, well, maybe they didn't call because you don't know what they have going on, and it's probably not related to you.
Mm-hmm.
Just like people may have not heard from me like the last couple of weeks of the new year. It had nothing to do with anybody. It was me. Right? And so sometimes we get in our feelings about things. It's like, why are you getting in your feelings? It ain't got nothing to do with you. Hey, girl, what's going on? Is there anything I can do for you?
Right.
Right? It could be a prayer. It doesn't even have to be money.
Instead of automatically taking it personal.
Yeah. So I think that was definitely my biggest lesson was grace. I could use grace at the airport. Remember? Mm-hmm. I think I got delayed or something. Using grace got me $300, which I was able to use to go to on another trip.
And when the guy was coughing with privilege.
I don't know if I extended grace then.
Did you?
I just gave a south side eye. But
what was your other ones?
My other ones were, since I'm the list queen, I wanted to do or attend the Black Enterprise Women of Power Summit. And so I volunteered and they chose me. And so I was able to travel to Las Vegas and attend that. What else? Bold Black Girls podcast was established. Mm-hmm. Never would have thought, right? Never. Who would have thunk?
Yes, because
all from a professional.
That was one of the, I think. So I knew she was gonna put that on her list.
How did you know that?
But I would put our live event on there.
Oh,
because I was like, us starting it. Obviously, my theme was kind of like, just jump out there and do different stuff. Like this year, like just do stuff because I ain't got no job, so here we go. Like
Nike, just do it.
Just do it. Let's do it. I'm like, you want to start a podcast? Sure. I'm like, cool. Like, and we just got it going. And then when we got with Minda Hearts, and she agreed to when she was coming to Texas. I'm like, when you coming to Texas? And she came and we did the event. It was like, wow, I didn't even realize that many people would come. It was like 100 people almost. And it was just like the bomb. Like, it was amazing. So that was like a big highlight for me.
Yes.
Last year.
I enjoyed that too.
Yeah. It was fun.
It really was. And I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yep.
You sure you don't have any others? You got some stuff you can highlight.
I did, but I was like, I want to save it for the next episode.
Okay, well, I'll take this episode. The other thing that I did is when I traveled to Chicago, I took my daughter, and we got to see Hamilton. I really enjoyed Hamilton. Like, I will go see it again.
I still want to see that.
Oh, I want to see it.
Everybody says it. It's like,
really
I already
good.
know.
Yeah, I would definitely. That's a Broadway play I would see again.
I did travel a lot this year.
You did.
To say,
for somebody who was unemployed, look, I'm employed, and I don't think you was international a couple of times.
I went to Cancun twice, and I went to Aruba once. Did I do something else?
See what I'm saying?
But see, I have a friend that works for the airline, and
I need a friend for the airlines. I'll even take them from Spirit.
I don't know.
I'm kidding.
And it's your favorite airline, but and so we when they would go for work, I would just hop in the luggage.
Extended grace.
I was like,
right,
yay! I get
fruits
to go
of their labor, or the fruits of their employment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was special. I was very appreciative to be able to just like.
That's an awesome thing.
Like. I'm like, y'all don't be looking at people's Instagram and stuff, and
because you don't know how
you don't know what's going on.
How they got there?
It ain't because I'm balling, so don't be looking at my stuff like, oh, she got money. Nah, I ain't got no money. I ain't got nothing.
Get that money on.
You got, your network can provide opportunities.
Can take you places, right?
So, yeah, and good friends. So.
Oh, absolutely. And I would say the last thing is. I took golf lessons. right?
You did. How do you feel like where you are now?
I'm gonna enroll again for spring. And it goes back to what we've said before about don't be boring. Have some hobbies.
Yeah.
Get
be
some
interesting.
Hobbies. And I think we don't we've lost sight of hobbies.
We need to just go there and hit some balls some days. Like at the driving range. That'd be a good practice.
Yeah, keep it going. Sorry. Keep it going. I mean, and I have a whole list of other things now. I did a little traveling for work and other things, but hope to do more in this next decade.
I'm trying to think of. I really feel like my boys grew a lot maturity-wise this year, and it's creating our conversations are different. You know, so I'm like, I'm getting a little nervous here.
Yeah, you know what? You see that growth. Like with Chiara and I, as she used to say, am I escaping her? And there was a period where it was like, okay, I was a young mom, right?
Right.
So I wanted to have that independence. And it had nothing to do with her.
Yeah, because you've been a mom since you were a teenager.
Yeah, I was like, I'm tired.
So you're like, I want to go do something fun for me.
Yes.
Like, when is my turn to do stuff?
Right.
And it's not like, I don't like you, kid.
Absolutely.
It's like, but it's like somebody who, it's almost like the reverse. So like for me, I was doing all my stuff early. And now that I have kids, I'm like, my friends can just up and go places. I'm like, I can't go. I got kids, now. So it just kind of, everyone has a season of time when you're kind of doing that. So.
And for her and I, I've seen our relationship grow. She went on a couple of trips with me this year. She went to Chicago, and then before I went to Dreamforce for work, we flew to LA for a Bears game.
That seemed like that was super fun though.
Yeah, that was fun. We rode bikes.
Different.
Yeah, it was something different, and it was really like last minute. It wasn't planned. Mm-hmm. It was like, hey, the Bears are playing the week before before the conference. All right, let's get a ticket. And we went.
I love it.
So, and very fortunate and grateful to have the resources to do those things and make that house repair that I had to make at the end of the year.
Yes.
So,
God is good because you could have had that and not have what you need and not even been able to get it fixed.
Yeah, and not sitting next to her stinking. All right, so we talked about some of our personal reflections, accomplishments. What about maybe at a high level, what are your intentions for the new decade?
Personally, is really focusing on my habits and creating a routine around my new normal, basically. That includes my work and my kids because I want to create the same thing with them, what I'm doing, for them. Like, hey, we need to start having library days every week.
I love that.
Where we go, things that I can do as a parent maybe to help, with, I'm not a teacher and I'm really not that great at teaching them stuff when it comes to like school.
We never have patience for our own children.
I know. So I have a tutor that comes in once a week for LJ. But I think going to the library regularly, when I was young, I used to go to the library almost every day after school.
I'm still surprised the library is still around. I'm glad it is.
Me too, because I do think you need a space.
And resources.
Sometimes. Yeah. So you go there you can use a computer,
they have classes.
Books, all that stuff. Everybody can't just order books on Amazon.
That's true.
Or whatever. And their schools may not have the resources to have books that you can download and all that. So yeah, I want to start just creating a habit, study habits for the kids and myself.
Okay. I would say my new intention, I'll give just two. One, just getting better as a person overall. Keeping with the extending grace, but also I think I did good with saying no. But a hard no.
Period.
Even if that person may be offended by it, because in the end it could cost me. And
that's really, it's a hard, because it's like, as long as you're doing it with respect and with tact, I feel like you're not responsible for
their feelings.
That. Yeah, it's like if you get offended because I'm saying no to something, you might need to think about why you're getting offended. Because I do that, I'm doing that with myself. Like, why is that making me so mad? Like, why am I bothered by this so much? Sometimes it's another reason that has nothing to do with this, the person. So, yes, no is a complete.
And just being no, not sugarcoating it at all, right? Because we try and massage the feelings. No, because this. No, I'm sorry, that just doesn't work for me.
Mm-hmm.
Period. And then also personally helping my daughter finish college with minimal debt.
Yes. Please, Jesus.
Break every chain.
Break
every cycle. And helping her to find what it is she truly wants to do so that she doesn't have to go through what I went through.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think a lot of times we don't expose our children to, here are the opportunities before you. You can do this. There are different avenues. You can choose what you want to do, right? I didn't have it. I don't think you had it either. We didn't know. We weren't trained for it. I didn't know about networking events.
At all.
I didn't know about, they have free training out here for IT. I stumbled upon it and shared it with the cousin. I'm like, yeah, go, because I want to see someone accomplish that and come out making a decent salary that you can take care of your family without that student loan debt.
Yes.
So that's really my goal for...
I love it. Because really the whole goal is for us, if we're being exposed to things and learning new things, we should be giving that back to anyone really in our
given
space.
to us, and we have to pass that
so
along.
that they can start at a higher level than we did.
They should be.
And then you're going to go higher, and then you can give yours back, and it just like keeps elevating everybody up higher and higher. We should not be trying to have our kids do the exact same. Now you going to get you a job at Blue Cross Blue Shield, and or
don't.
No, you should be at a higher place.
Yep.
Not that there's anything wrong with it, but if you're already there, that means you need to be doing more than me.
Yep.
Like my dad, he went back to school when he was like 43 to go get a bachelor's degree because he didn't want me to graduate before him. So he went and got a bachelor's, and then he continued on and went and got a master's degree. He was like, now, you got to at least get a master's.
You have to. Yeah,
it was a challenge. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm like, that's exciting because it's like, okay, you want me to be better. You should want that for her. So. And
just making whatever sacrifice that I can without necessarily overextending myself, because a lot of times I think single parents, we overextend ourselves.
Trying to be superwoman.
And killing ourselves.
Dad.
And we also have to teach them to have their own grit. So keeping that balance. And
that's hard. It is hard to give tough love to your kids. I know they think we just be waiting to just, discipline.
Fall.
And
right.
It's not. Like some days I just be like, I want to come and coddle you and have you come sleep in my bed every night when you get scared all the time. I can't do that.
Right.
Like, if I know if I'm looking ahead and I know what you're going to need to be able to survive, I got to let you fall sometimes. I got to let you kind of go through some hurts and bang yourself up a little bit so that you can get those same muscles that you're going to need, because it ain't getting easier. It gets harder. So.
Yep. So, well, I guess that concludes what we're going to talk about today. Did we want to do this or that? Or no, we had some...
Yeah, so it's funny. So we were eating brunch before this, and
we had a bold black girl brunch.
And the first thing was I had I don't want to say
her indoor
shoes on, and so
eating some good oatmeal from.
And it was like making that noise, and you're like, So Chiara was like, was it you asking me?
Yep.
Like, do you say house shoes
or slippers?
What do you say?
Well, the old Kim says house shoes, but the bougie
North
Dallas, Collin County, I say slippers.
I definitely say house shoes. Look at my house shoes. It's some parts you just gotta hold on. Like,
I let it go because I was like,
shoes.
I thought about it. I'm like, house shoes. I'm like, no, they are slippers. And because I'm a pajama connoisseur, I want to use the right terminology.
Whatever. Who are you using it for?
Myself.
like you try to code switch at the house.
It's not like I'm asking anybody to get my slippers anyway. Nobody at the house.
Well, you got your...
Yeah, them. You know what I mean.
Okay, so you say slippers, I say house shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Blanket or cover? Because all these came like organically, y'all.
It really did.
Like we just got on a roll.
So... It really depends on who I'm talking to, but if I'm at home in my authentic self, pass me that cover.
I say cover.
No, you say cover or cover?
Cover.
COVER or CUVA?
Go get some covers. I was trying to think.
LJ, babe, go get my cover.
I say blanket every now and then, I think. But covers is like way more natural.
And like, I love cover.
I don't say cover.
I do. Like,
You
I
say it
go
with
to
an A?
a CUVA. So, you know, I went to Buc-ee's.
Oh, I love that. Now, see, I called that a blanket, I think.
You called it a blanket?
Remember when you were...
Yeah.
I walked in the house and Kim was on my couch with that.
Right, I was waiting outside. She was like,
nap.
just go in. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go close my eyes. And I took my cover that I keep in the back of my car.
I was like, ooh, I want one of those. It was soft and fluffy. I think I called that a blanket. I don't know why. It just depends.
Yeah, I guess it just depends.
Okay, so the other one was... okay, so it was 3 things. So she was like, do you say sneakers or gym shoes? And I was like, neither one. I say tennis shoes. So.
And from Chicago, it is gym shoes. They're like, you go get the latest Jordans, go get them gym shoes.
Gym shoes?
We say gym shoes.
That's hilarious.
So when you all, okay, maybe this is why we call it gym shoes. I don't know where the origin is from. In elementary, high school, we have gym.
Right.
We don't call it PE.
Okay.
So go get
gym
your
class?
gym shoes.
Is it gym class?
Yeah, go get your gym shoes for gym class.
Remember they used to make you wear
actual uniform?
I hated it.
I don't think Chiara, did you have to wear a uniform?
We had to wear a
uniform.
uniform.
We had to have the name, the shorts. Yeah.
Yeah. I hated it.
Yeah.
But,
And
yeah.
I always would throw it in the locker. And, I mean, I think I took it home once a week to wash it. Some never took theirs home to wash. And it was apparent when they ran by you.
You're like, Kim always smelling something.
I mean.
Yeah, I definitely say tennis shoes. Okay, so that's all we got for that.
Call to action.
Call to action.
So your call to action is document and outline what your self-development goals are for 2019.
I like that.
And kind of just reflect too, in order for you to do that for 2019 or 2020, you need to reflect on 2019.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can't go forward without looking back to say, okay, what did I do?
And it can motivate you. You might be like, hey, I started off here and now I'm here. Look at that.
Correct.
You know, you might actually see some positive things there. Don't always look for it to be something, you know. What was the other thing I was going to say? So if you are listening right now, obviously, send us a note or write a review, something like that, to let us know what you came up with. We'd like to hear some of your accomplishments so we can share.
Yes,
on the podcast.
Next podcast. Because what we're trying to do is during the call to action this year is highlight, okay, what have we done? Well, the call to action was really our homework, which we did share. What were those accomplishments? We want to hear from our listeners too.
Yeah. And
we're even planning to do our own vision board for the podcast and personally. So if you have a picture of your vision board and you want to share it, please go out there and just take a picture. And send us an email, boldblackgirls@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram @boldblackgirls. Yes. We're not really on Twitter as much. We do have a Twitter account. We do tweets every now and then, but not as much. But make sure you write us a review and leave us a rating so that we can see that you guys are still there and listening. And subscribe if you are watching us on YouTube right now. And that's about it. Yeah. So, do your homework. And we will holler at y'all next week. Have a bold week. Yes. Peace. Peace.